You're tuned in to today's Live at 5. Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to remind you that this show is only possible because of the continued support of amazing people like you. You can continue to support us by subscribing to this YouTube channel, sharing an episode with a friend, or signing up to our Patreon page via the link in the description below. From there, you'll be able to access some exclusive bonus content and dive deeper into the world of Live at 5. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into today's show. We hope you enjoy. We're going to jump straight into some music today with our special guest, Kourosh Kanani.
Hello.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man.
I gotta pump my gain up here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good.
Amazing.
It's really nice to play with you again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we don't do it more often. Oh, oh, right. There's that whole leave the house thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it feels so foreign to play jazz with someone, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's
Now,
like,
well, just to play with anyone at all in
yeah,
any way. I
in
think
any
that's the
way.
first time I've had an actual play with someone.
Wow, that's great. Well, I'm glad that I could have the honor. Um, so, we were talking before about when you moved down to London, which has got to be seven, 6 years,
Maybe a bit more. Yeah, something like that.
and we actually lived together for a little while,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah, it was
In the
it was
most glamorous
amazing.
setting.
Oh man, I'll never forget having to always go through that restaurant out the back and climb over some things, go up some stairs into
Well,
that lovely flat.
yeah, not to mention the sloping floor that you had to sleep on. I mean, it was that kind of floor that you would put something down and then reach back for it, and it would be like across the room, you know?
Oh man, there was that, and there was the nice bars in the window.
Yeah, the bars in the window just to remind you of your safety. It's like nothing's going in, nothing's coming out. Sometimes Dave and Vicky watch the stream, so Dave and Vicky, if you're out
All
there,
right, nice. Hey,
um,
Dave and Vicky, maybe.
yeah, we miss you. But anyway, where did you grow up, and how did you start playing guitar?
I grew up in Leeds and up north, and how did I start playing guitar? My brother's also a guitarist, and he got a guitar when he was 11, so I was 8, I think. And then just based on him having a guitar, I just really wanted one. So I pleaded a little bit, and then my mum got me a guitar, and then it was about 8 I started playing, and then from 9 I started having some guitar lessons.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But you didn't start with the music of Django Reinhardt, right? I can remember us talking about Merle Travis and
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Cannonball Rag. So
yeah.
how'd you find that stuff?
That stuff came. It was like a lace. You know how everything goes through go on a little journey of what you discover. But it came about first through being into loads of like 70s prog music. So
Whoa.
particularly a group called Yes. And the guitarist from that, Steve Howe,
No.
he'd done a lot of like finger picking stuff. And I wondered where he got it from. And then he started mentioning all these names like Les Paul and Mel Travis and Chet Atkins and people like that. So then I started checking out them. And then this whole other world opened up
Right.
that I'd just never heard of before.
Yeah, I mean I kind of came to that stuff later, and I can remember, talking to you about it, not knowing that you were into it because obviously we were both kind of so far down the Django route.
Yeah,
But people like Tommy Emmanuel, Big Bill Broonzy,
exactly. Yeah.
Merle Travis, Chet Atkins,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's funny because it's so related to jazz, but it's so hidden from jazz people.
Yeah.
And it's something that you talk about with jazz people, and they say, "Well, I've never heard of those people because those guys didn't necessarily improvise." And I think that was the thing that really set them apart.
Yeah. It was just like it just got sectioned off into this other type of music,
Yeah,
which was just, bluegrass kind of guitar playing, really.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
is funny because a lot of the tunes are just jazz tunes,
Right,
but because there's no, solos in it or anything, it's just not seen as the same thing.
right, right. So then, when you transitioned kind of into the Django side of things,
Hmm.
who kind of spurred you in that direction?
Again, actually, it was my brother because
Ah,
he
cool.
was quite an advocate for just going out once a week when HMV was still a thing. Just going out there and buying a bunch of CDs because he was the one who was earning a bit of money at the time. And then he came back one day when I was 15 with a bunch of CDs and like Tommy Emmanuel and all these people. The best of Jack Ryan, which in my opinion is the best album. It's just
Wow.
like it's a great one. That. And he and what was the first tune? I think it was just Minor Swing, the classic one that I heard. And based on that, I was just completely obsessed. I didn't
Wow.
start playing the music. I didn't start having a go at it 2 years later until I was
Wow.
17.
So you were a fan first.
I was a fan first, and I saw I think I saw Josko Stefan when I was 16. But still, I was too intimidated by it because it was like using a pick, which I'd never done, and it was all this type of guitar playing. I just thought it was like for guitar gods, you know, it was like this other thing that I couldn't do.
Right,
But
right.
then when I was 17, I just had to go at it. I just thought, why not?
So cool. Let's play another tune and then talk some more. Do you
Yeah.
you know Some of These Days?
So, do I
Oh no, let's
remember
play
that?
that that tune you suggested.
Oh, I surrendered
I
it.
Surrendered to You.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
I'm gonna turn down my gain a bit.
Hmm.
You still hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
One, two, three. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. You too. Wow. You know, the first time I learned that song was with oh man, what was the guy's name? What was the guy's name that played with Evan Christopher? Guitar player. Australian guy, nicest guy in the world. Dave,
Oh,
not
Jesus.
Kelby.
No, I know who you mean.
Blankhorn. Dave
Yeah,
Blankhorn.
yeah, yeah.
We were at the Cucumber Bar. I mean, there are a few people that go in the nice guy Hall of Fame, you know. And Dave Blankhorn was just such a nice guy. I can remember because as a guitar player, you must know this, and luckily I'm not in that camp. You often fall in a party. You have to fall to the pressures of people asking you to play Oasis covers and like Stevie Wonder, I'll play that when we want to sing along, and you're like, oh my god, why did I pick this instrument? Why didn't I pick cello? Nobody wants to sing Oasis with cello. And Blankhorn was just there at the Cucumber Bar, and he was just playing all the hits. Everybody was screaming, everybody was drunk and happy, and anyway, somehow we managed to play that together, and
Oh man,
yeah.
how long ago was that?
Oh my god, must have been before you got to London.
Before my
Six
time.
before your time. Yeah. So you're a practicer, and I've always, really been in awe of that. You have the ability to kind of really focus on things and get them down, and you've gone through lots of periods of study.
Mm.
I can remember when we were living together, you were into Thelonious Monk and John Coltrane live at Carnegie Hall, and you had that
Oh, Tinkle Trinkle.
yeah,
Trinkle Tinkle, whichever
twinkle
one it
twinkle
is.
little star,
Yeah.
which on guitar is. Do you still have that down?
No, not in the
I mean, that was
slightest.
so crazy that you had that together. And then obviously you transitioned into kind of. I remember you going through a period of checking out a lot of Louis Armstrong,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then Keith Jarrett,
yeah.
and now what are you into now? What's
Yeah,
going?
the Keith Jarrett thing led off into I found out about a piano player called Tigran Hamasyan, if you've heard of him.
Yeah,
And based on that, it took me off on this road to the Middle East and India. And Matt Holborn he's studied Indian music a lot, so he gave me a lot of just little insights and little things people to listen to. So now I'm just on this whole train of discovering everything about Iran. Um,
wow,
and it sort of helps a bit because being half Iranian, my dad has so much access to so much music I'd never heard of. So he just sends me loads of stuff all the time. And just been listening to loads of that and getting down a lot of their modes that they play in and a lot of the time signatures they play in, and then looking at Indian music for the same kind of stuff and like language and time stuff. So I've been practicing loads of like musical mathematics these days,
wow, okay,
stuff like that.
amazing. Do you think you could maybe play us something solo
Sure.
that kind of maybe has a little bit of that in it or whatever you want? But
I can do something. Yeah, I've been working on this Persian folk song. Um,
great.
it the the actual tune's going to be like 15 minutes long, but I'll keep it down to 2 minutes.
You can play whatever you want. I mean, I've got all the time in the world.
Let's see. Hopefully, I won't mess this up too badly. Yeah.
Whoa,
That's the shortened version of something much longer, but
man. Kourosh Kanani. That's amazing, man.
thanks, man. It's going to be with a trio, a new trio I'm setting up, but it's just, that's the sort of basic arrangement.
So what's that called?
That song is called Bedur, which is a Persian word. I forget what it means, but
Right, okay.
I just heard it on this album. It's just a woman singing it with a piano with no particular time signature, but I just loved the melody so much. I just wanted to do something with it.
So are you playing that with are you playing that with a pick or finger kind
I
of?
was just doing it with my fingers, yeah,
Right.
just completely.
So how have you had to adjust your technique to kind of, because I'd imagine that music is quite vocal, right? And you kind of have to get
Extremely, yeah.
more
Yeah,
textures.
well, yeah, I've been working on loads of that kind of stuff because I stayed away from it then because my hands are quite cold. I didn't want to mess it up completely, but it's just kind of getting embellishments that they would put in. So instead of going, you would just go, or,
Ah,
I don't know, like, instead of just going like, you might want to go,
right. Wow, right,
just
right,
these kind
right.
of things that they put in all the
Like
time.
vocal ornaments.
Vocal ornaments, it sometimes sounds like they're crying or something, and it's hard to
Wow.
emulate that, but
Wow.
I'm
And
trying.
when you learn that kind of, I would assume it's just from practicing it over and over again, but does that kind of slip into your, Django style playing as well?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes
Wow.
it just comes out. It gets worked into your technique sometimes, which is a good and bad thing because you don't want it to be mechanical, but it does just end up coming out a
Right,
lot.
right.
And
Wow.
then some people come up to me after, I get the classic, come up to me after a gypsy jazz gig and say, "Oh my God, I love Spanish music."
Right. And then you slap them twice across the face and say,
Yeah,
"Pull yourself together.
yeah. Yeah,
Emotion is not allowed."
I put on my best 1950s voice for that.
Yeah, right. Amazing. So tell us a little bit about the LDC, the London Django Collective.
Oh yeah. Well, Apple and Harry Diplock together, I think, and they both are in charge of things with it. But yeah, it was an idea just to get everyone that we play with or have played with in London on the gypsy
I should
jazz
just say
scene.
for the record that Kourosh is in the London Django Collective. I haven't asked him to describe a band that he's not in. Tell us a little bit about the 1996 Chicago Bulls.
I can
Oh
tell you about
well.
loads of bands if you want.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's a really cool idea because it's nobody's band, right?
Hmm,
And it's
exactly.
and who's how do you guys decide who plays on what song? Because you kind of change instrumentation and personnel.
Yeah, so we honed that one a little bit more because the opening gig you did with us, because people listening who might not know Giacomo was in it from the start and did the initial recordings with us. After we did that first gig down at your bar, we every time we did a gig after that, we would just sit down and have to kind of formulate who was going to play on which songs, because otherwise it's just a just carnage, everyone on stage and trying to rearrange amps and sit there and sit there. So, we just have to write set lists and be like, okay, look, you play on these three, you play on these three, and just keep it as in an
Right.
order so everyone's got enough time to play. But it's really nice, and it's one of those things that you think. I had thought about it before, and I thought, it's too big of a project. It'll never happen. Not everyone will be up for it. Everyone will be too busy. But suddenly, we just had everyone in the same room really up for it,
Right.
and it was such a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It never happened before to just have everyone in the room saying, "Look at I've got this idea for a tune," and suddenly you're getting a little insight into your friends that you didn't have before.
Really cool.
It's just it's so nice.
Wow.
And that the fact that at the beginning it was even bigger. There was you and there was Simon Reed, and it just had all these elements that was
yeah.
It was
Well,
so
I'm
nice.
still when I'm still down to do I would love to learn that Marrakesh, your original song, which is released, isn't it?
That's released now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be putting that on the for those listening, we'll be putting that on the Live at 5 playlist, which you can find
nice.
in the description below. There are 2 links. There's one to our Patreon page, which you can we'd love to have you join, and the second one is a link to all of the things that we're up to, and the bottom one in that list is the Live at 5 playlist. So check that out.
Awesome.
Kourosh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it'd be amazing if you came and played on that tune.
Yeah, I would love to learn that. I think it's a really special one.
Thanks.
Are you up for playing another tune together?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Cool, man. All right.
Slightly louder. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
have to do these. Rock and jazz. You're listening to Live at 5, our special. Oh, yeah, sorry. You're listening to Live at 5. Our special guest is Kourosh Kanani today. That was Kourosh's adoring fans in his vocal cords. And yes, I said before, you're listening to Live at 5. Oh, and this is a really exciting thing for us to be able to do, bring you live music for the first time in 6 weeks since we've been doing this. So if you're tuning in out there, you're part of Kansas Smitty's history. So that's a great feeling. I wanted to tell you about our record of the day. Our record of the day. Where is it? Is it going to be on my left or right, Darce?
It's going to be in the middle.
It's going to be in the middle. So I'm just going to point. Is that good?
Yeah.
Our record of the day is actually going to be a Willie Nelson record. Sorry, is a Willie Nelson album called Stardust. And you might be wondering why we like Willie Nelson. And we like Willie Nelson because he's great.
Because he's the best.
Because he's the best. He's a really interesting guy. I mean, he definitely broke down a lot of boundaries in country music in terms of what country music was allowed to sound like in a commercial sense. But on guitar, his primary influence was none other than Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Which is, did you know that?
I did, yeah.
Do you like him?
Willie Nelson, yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, he's likable. The whole package is likable. He's kind of a.
I like that he's got an actual hole in his guitar as well. It's just a big gaping hole.
Well, you have a hole in your guitar.
Yeah, I've only got one though.
Well, after the lockdown, I'll show you how to put the second hole in.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you got it. So anyway, all that said, we will be back tomorrow. Darcy, who do we have tomorrow? Well, we'll be back tomorrow with a special guest, as we are every day. But we will try to bring you more.
Steve Abbott.
Oh, we've got Steve Abbott tomorrow, who's a great friend and has a lot of amazing insider stories from the music industry. But anyway, all that said, thank you, Kourosh, for coming on.
Pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to play, and especially given the circumstances, it's just it's amazing.
Yeah.
And thanks to Darcy O'Connor for his production skills in Clapton.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for tuning in to Live at 5. We're going to play you out with another tune. What do you think, Koo?
What about, like...
How about The Sunny Side of the Street?
Yeah, let's do it.
See?
That's good that you can speak Spanish, but yeah, let's do
it. 1 second. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. No, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks again for listening to Live at 5. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with every episode. You can also click on the link in the description below to sign up to our Patreon and find out where you can sign up for Kansas Smitty's memberships, as well as purchase records and merch. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow, Live at 5.